Hi guys, welcome back to another Explain 12 video. We're jumping back into Explain 12 after flying P3D for a bit, and we are today not going to be using a pack, so I'm going to close that. We are today flying from Wellington down to Christchurch, so nothing super fancy with that. And we are actually going to be flying the A300 by Inibuilds, just to try it out. It was actually the plane I wanted to fly when I then decided to instead buy the 767-400ER. But I caved to the capitalistic pressure of increasing my fleet library. But yeah, the Inibuilds A300 is still a great plane in X-Plane 12, and it's nice to see it, at least based on what I've seen now, still seems to be working just fine. And we are here standing with our pal, the security guard, but he seems a bit, well, not so happy today. So we're gonna leave him. And I actually tried to check a bit with the graphic settings, tried to increase the word objects, but my god, that makes the FPS plummets. Because that's the reason why it looks a bit dead, right? In terms of, like, you can really get a lot of objects if you increase that, but that of course kills your FPS. Even with a pretty decent computer. I think my main reason is that I'm using 3 screens, right, to get a really wide screen. So that does put some extra strain on the computer processing wise, right? Pretty nice actually. I haven't noticed the detail they've actually put in this. I mean, it sucks big time that Inibuilds haven't continued developing for X-Plane, because they did some truly amazing planes. So yeah, just very sad actually. I just don't know why they could at least not continued supporting these. Can't see a reason why not to, but oh well, one cannot get everything one wants in a life. Let's get up to our airplane. Still doing the walk around tool. It's pretty nice to just see how everything is kind of laid off, right? We can close and open the doors. I mean, these kind of things are just awesome, right? That you have the option for that. Can't really see it during the day, right? But can I click on them, or is that... maybe it's not possible. Okay, it does work. Hell, even the toilet and stuff. Let's close that one though, and let's get into the flight deck and start our flight. One thing that's a bit off is the coloring. You can see this blue thing on the EFB. I am certain that will be fixed, since this is just a beta. Or there will be someone who will fix that. Doesn't seem like a huge issue. But yeah, let's get going. We are flying a short flight, right? Wellington to Christchurch, which is perfect. I don't have a lot of time, and I just want to do a quick flight down here in the southern hemisphere. We can start with the battery switches. Put the external power to on. Let me see, yeah, the pitch trims never worked like that. We'll need to do them at some point. We have external power. I'll get all of these switches. And one thing I never looked at was, could you move circuit breakers? Doesn't seem like it. Okay, so not as in-depth as some other aircrafts in X-Plane are. Okay, let's see. Not that I ever use circuit breakers. It's very rare of me to do failure scenarios. I only have one video, and that was a mistake on my own behalf. But I just was a bit too... Can we lock it? How do you get it to go down? Okay, I guess it's fine. Nav. That should be it. No, no smoking signs, nav and logo, strobe on auto, arm emergency lights, cabin doors not closed, etc. That's fine. What viewpoints do we have? We have one of these, upper one. Got a lot of viewpoints for the inside. This one is of course good. No, did I try to close the main cargo door? Phew, okay, I didn't manage to do that. I think this one isn't working because have we not provided, is it galley power or something similar to that effect that's gonna, while I think of that we can try the testing. See that these work. Yeah, they all seem to be working. That's happy days. And what's it yapping about now? Always some beep beep. But yeah, I think that's fine. Let me have a look. Is this the only viewpoint I have? What's these other ones? This one is pretty cool. Guess this one is fine. This one feels. Well, I guess it's fine viewpoints. Let's keep them. First things first, getting our flight plan, etc. set up. We don't have charts within the sim, so I haven't even bothered looking into that. I wish they could all just have a document reader. That would just make life much easier. In terms of the load sheet, we can insert it here. We'll start with our 0 fuel weight, which is as much as 274. I know an A300 has landed back in the 70s here at this airport, so my main question is though, how heavy can we be? But let's just hope we can be very heavy. Okay, we can load that. To save some time, we can send it here to the performance one as well. And let me just go back to the menu. Because now we should have the right values, right? Do we? We were supposed to have 31 in the fuel. And what do we have now? Fuel on board. Pounds. Let me have a look at the weight and balance just to make sure. Yeah, that's on 31. Yeah, it seems to be correct. Okay, happy days. Just this fuel quantity one that... But maybe this is in kilos, could that be it? Could be I haven't updated on this plane. Pounds, IRS. Yeah, okay, everything seems to be correct. Yeah, nothing seems to be off actually. Yeah. Don't ask me, I don't know. Let's get our ground up starting. In terms of the loader, we can have him start the loading process. Can we see close? Okay, it's working now. Very, very cool to see. Okay, that doesn't seem to work. In terms of the flight otherwise, what are we looking at? Weather. We are looking at well, maybe first to check is the altitude. We're gonna be flying at an altitude of 260 or 26,000 feet, sorry. And we are flying southwards, and we are gonna have a headwind again. Pretty nasty headwind. Okay, not that bad, maybe. Around 25 knots, 30 knots maybe. 15 actually in our path. 10 only. Yeah, okay. Might be fine. So not the end of the world. Let me see. I guess we don't need a fuel truck. In terms of the exits, we should have these open, right? Guess we can also open the other ones. I'm not sure if there will be anything. Or if there's any loader for that. This is also a bit of a weird spot. This was the only parking spot I found on X-Plane. I mean, it could make sense, but this really doesn't feel like a parking spot. Potentially also that's the... I mean, the airport isn't a big one, right? I doubt these kind of cargo planes would fly in here normally. Okay, let's see now. Can we do any other ground services? Nope. Okay, so checklist, always good to have. The only thing we'll do here is the takeoff one. We can go to FMS. We'll go to FMS on this one. We can put this on the flight plan page immediately. Well, we'll start with the init one on this one. So, our flight is from N Zulu. No clue what this one stands for actually in the... Okay, one. And then N. We are flying to Christchurch. So that should be those. In terms of alternate, we have Auckland, which seems a bit far away. Is this really thought through? Or maybe we have enough fuel for that. I'm gonna align the IRS. Let's also change this one. So IRS is still aligning. In terms of a next step, it's gonna be putting in the cost index, which is 53. And we can put in the flight ID, which we can just put as a 300 as a homage to our plane. Cruise level 26,000. Cruising winds 234 at 14. Yeah, that's good. Next page, block fuel 31. Zero fuel weight 274. 274.7. CG was 27. The only thing I'm worried about is actually getting off the ground, but hopefully it should be fine. Let's see. Next step is we need to do or insert the flight plan. So we're taking off from runway 34 with the uploop SID with the trans to Sabda. And we can insert that. And after Sabda we are flying a airway. So, and I really like that this is populated by itself. So Y662 to Messix, and after Messix we'll have a straight approach to runway 2. I'll do the ILS. We won't do any star. Doesn't seem like that's We might get one though, so we have to be a bit... Or actually it is already assigning us... Yeah, we have a star, sorry, MESX. Okay. Yeah, we did have one. Was it the number 1? That's correct. And then the question is, do we want to transition somehow? And I'm gonna bring up this one. We're on the Airbus, we'll just need to change to heavy. And in terms of call sign, we can change to Qantas. Hopefully they have the freight one. But I think this maybe normal Qantas will work. Let me actually have a look. Did they close the... Ah, look at that. The loading has completed. Happy days. But yeah, really like the sound of that when it closed. Approach. So we're doing the approach to the ILS on runway 2. Okay, so we can either do the Inibuilds. I think the easiest one is to do the Inibuilds one. Let me have a look though how. So we're coming in the other direction compared to when we last time flew this. So we'll come in like this. Let's hope we don't forget the speed brake like we did last time. We have the right cruising altitude, we can validate and we can file. We can connect to X-plane, hopefully it will work, but we'll know if it doesn't. Okay, let's see. Slow and steady wins the race. Oh, wait. Did want to... Unable to connect to the plugin. Yeah, that's fine. That's just for the traffic. Will survive, I think. And now we just gotta make sure that they can hear us. And the way to do that... Let me see. Or actually, maybe we can just change the com to the one we want to use. Okay, let's see. That should give us the... I would want the 80s though as well. What's the 80s here? The 80s is the one... 2... 126 at 9. Okay. Let's go downwards. There we go. Oh, I really like the sounds. That sounded very Oceanian.
Skies clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Current altimeter is 3036. Arriving runway 16. Departing runway 34.
No. There
Wellington
shouldn't be any
International Airport information
What did I put
930
wrong?
local winds are 007 at 9 knots. Visibility unrestricted. Skies clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Current altimeter is 3036. Arriving runway 16. Departing runway 34.
Let me see, MESX.
Wellington International Airport information
And
golf.
a copy that they
930
should
local winds are
align.
007 at 9 knots. Visibility unrestricted.
0,
Skies
0.
clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Current
Okay,
altimeter is
temperature
3036.
17.
Arriving runway 16. Departing runway 34. Wellington International Airport information golf. 930 local winds are 007 at 9 knots. Visibility
007
unrestricted.
at
Skies clear. Temperature
9
17. Dew
knots.
point 10. Current altimeter is 3036. Arriving runway 16. Departing runway 34.
Let me actually
Wellington International Airport
swap.
information.
I don't know which one they use, so I'm gonna go with the metric feet one. I think US is a bit specific, right? Okay, let's see what they give us in the QNH.
Clear. Temperature 17. Dew point 10. Current QNH is 1028. Arriving runway 16. Departing runway 34. Wellington International Airport automated weather.
28. There we go. Dry, anti-ice off. Okay, we'll have air condition on. We'll go with the normal one. Thrust, flex. Okay, let's see if we can get this one and runway 34, right? Can we see it here? Yeah, 34. Just to verify. Let's compute. Limitation, a runway. We can send it to the FMS. Hopefully we'll make it. Might be tight. I think the normal runway should be 2200 and we have about 2081 meters on runway. Okay, we received company takeoff data. Flex 43, yes, very good. Flaps, yes, yes. So we received all the data we need for that. Anything else we need to insert on the init page? Doesn't look like it. So we are basically ready, right? Let's do an IFR clearance. Qantas 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Qantas 4003 heavy contact Wellington clearance on 128.2 for IFR clearance.
Okay, good, we're getting that
Qantas
clearance.
4003 heavy clearance delivery on 128.2.
Where do you set the landing on this one? Is it down here? Let me see. Landing elevation. Thank God I found it quickly as well. Always feels good. Let's see also how long I'll be flying here in New Zealand. I've been thinking of actually just deleting the photo reel so I can feel more fine with flying a bit elsewhere. It's not that bad. It's just that of course when you have the photo reel you really want to fly in those areas because they look a bit nicer on the eye. Let me see, 102 elevation at 123. So there we go, we have set elevation. Qantas 4003 heavy, ready to copy IFR clearance.
Qantas 4003 Heavy is cleared to November Zulu Charlie Hotel climb via the Upla 1 Papa departure with the SABDA transition, then is filed. Expect departure runway tree 4. Climb to 6,000 feet via the departure. Expect higher
we got the
2 minutes
right
after departure. Wellington
6,000
International approach
feet.
on 122.3. Squawk 6101.
Why don't we have those on?
Qantas
Is it because we
4003
need to
heavy
wait
is
to
cleared
start
to November
everything?
Zulu Charlie Hotel climb via the Upla 1 Papa departure with the
Potentially,
SABDA
right?
transition, then is filed. Climb to 6,000 feet via the departure.
Because this one
Expect
is
higher
aligned.
clearance is 2 minutes after departure. Wellington International approach
Let
on
me have a look.
122.3. Squawk
We
6101.
Remove loader.
Qantas 4003 Heavy read back correct QNH is 1028 contact Wellington ground on 121.9er.
Let's see, we
When
want to
ready
start
for
the
pushback
APU back here.
QNH is 1028 ground on 121.9er Qantas 4003 heavy.
Let's also close some doors, right? Those are closing. We can start the APU. Let me have a look. Is the wiper working? It is working. Happy days. Okay, we have APU starting. Yeah, looks like the values are coming up. Very good, very good. That's on. That's on. We can have constraints on. So we get the relevant info. At least we have the here, the buttons, that's good. Really like that with the A300, though it's an old aircraft and a bit of an upgraded version of the other A300, what's it called, the B2. It has some very nice.
Velocity 778, receive November contact. And intersection Bravo 2.
Velocity 778, taxi Charlie 1 holding port Bravo 2.
Charlie 1 holding point Bravo 2, velocity 778.
Let's see, we should actually set this one as well, not that one. Although I guess you could set that also, but we want to set the... I really I hate the click spot for this one. It's a pain. They really should make bigger ones in X-Plane, or at least somehow fix the zooming thing. Good. Our squawk was 6101. We can set that. So 6101. 6101. We can put it to TARA, or I guess TA on the ground, right? And what else? What else? These are all closed. Good news. We don't need any pushback. We can just start. So let's ask for start clearance, and maybe do we need to ask for pushback? Maybe not. Qantas 4003 heavy, ready for engine start.
Qantas 4003
Okay, that one
heavy
is
engine
available.
start approved.
Bleeds are on.
Engine start approved. Qantas 4003 heavy.
We can remove the external power. Chocks. Sorry, external power. Chocks. Okay, let's return. Guess we can keep that on the checklist. Let's have a look on the outside. Still looking pretty good. We have engine start confirmed, so that's happy days. We can then get going. We'll do the B starter. We can start with the right engine first. Values are rising, the N2 ones. They are above 15. We can introduce some fuel into the system. Not sure what these ones do, but oh well. Do we have weather radar actually? We do, don't we? The question is where... There we said it, right? We can put that on. We have auto weather radar on. The values are looking good. Don't think this one has kind of let's say ad hoc failures either, so we should be fine whatever happens. 6,000 feet. Hey, look at that, we have a New Zealand dash. What would that be, like a Q300 maybe, something like that? Let's put this up to something reasonable. This must be the takeoff hidden switch, right? They usually have one here on the glare shield. Okay, we have a good engine start. Let's start number 1.
Turn left on Bravo, then right at Golf.
And we are starting up the first engine. We are above 15. We'll introduce the fuel. Let's have a look how it looks when it's starting. Yeah, it's spinning harder and harder. Just so clear texture wise. I've seen some with Microsoft flights which is even better, right, in terms of getting the details when you zoom in. It's just crazy, like with this modern flight sims. If I ever get Microsoft Flight Sim 24, I'll probably be just staring at rivets and similar. There we go. Spooling up nicely.
Super 812, taxi via Charlie 1 to holding.
Good, let's ask for taxi. Qantas 4003, ready to taxi.
Qantas 4003 heavy taxi to runway tree 4.
Taxi to runway tree 4 Qantas 4003 heavy.
We didn't get a taxi path, but I think I know how we'll taxi. Let's use all of the runway we can get so we have the best chance to get away. Let's also put the flaps in the right position. And let's actually have a look. What was the trim? 08 down. Could it really be? Or maybe it's down will work. But okay. Let's see. Let's see. We forgot the beacon, right? So that was a bit embarrassing. We can put on the runway taxi lights. Let's have a look. How does the lights look with this aircraft now? Can't really see during the day, but with the new update, right? Probably affects it a bit, to a certain extent at least. Okay, let's see. Good, good, good. We can shut the APU bleeds. Because technically we just shut our own bleeds to get some extra. I think we'll be fine, right? What's the worst that could happen? Pitch trim. I guess we would want to leave the ignition on technically, but I'm just gonna keep it off. We can do nav, so we have that already prepared. Okay, auto throttle you don't do now. On the ground, we're gonna do a flex takeoff. Flex to temp 47, right? Something to that effect. 43, sorry. 43, which is good to get right because we get a little bit of extra thrust from that. Okay, let's see actually. Where? No clue about the gear actually, why it's playing. Yeah, okay. It's supposed to be down. I have it down. Maybe it was because I had it up when I started, so it kind of got bugged. But let's see. Seatbelt signs on for the people that are joining us on this trip. We'll release parking brakes. Let's see, I think we'll start. Oh wait, big issue, I just realized. Let's see if I can fix this. I hadn't connected my tiller, which creates some issues. Okay, let's see if we can turn out of here without slam dunking into that wall. Looks pretty good now. And I'm gonna move this pilot to ADC thing. And let's see, the recording is still going on. Yeah, we're not using FS charters, that's fine. We're just flying for our own fun. I wanted to find a new Air New Zealand livery, that would have been more fun, but I couldn't find one, so this was the best I could do. Okay, let's see, this goddamn fuel truck is blocking the path. Yeah, the clearance isn't the best here. Let's see if we... How the hell do you clear this? Max span 27, yeah. Okay, we should have technically not. We'll do a bit of an exception for us. Taxi a bit differently. Let's add a bit of thrust so we can taxi a bit quicker. Idle thrust only takes you that far. Okay, the only thing I'm worried about with the gear is what happens when we take off. Will it kind of immediately try to pull the gear up? Hopefully not, but let's see. God, the sounds are pretty loud. Oh, now you can see the flickering, right? It even comes across on the other screen, so it's not a
Qantas
screen issue.
4003 heavy contact Wellington ground tower.
Even though I do think the cabin or cockpit looks much better now. It's really improvement with the lighting system. Okay, let's see. So we got the clearance to contact tower. Let's put all of these on. Qantas 4003 heavy, ready for takeoff.
Qantas 4003
And look, we have an inbound plane. Let's try to be quicker than it.
Runway tree 4 cleared for takeoff.
Runway tree 4 cleared for takeoff. Qantas 4003 heavy.
Okay, let's try to get somewhat reasonably on the.
On runway 34.
This should do. Okay.
34 right, clear for takeoff. Runway 34 right, clear for takeoff. Get start 784, thank you.
Let's start spooling up and wish us good luck. We're not yet on the right flap setting, but now we are right. Okay, looking pretty good. Toga, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Gonna push forward. Airspeed is alive. We should be able to do this, right? It feels like we're accelerating pretty nicely. 80 knots. Pull back. We don't have too far to V1, but let's see if we can do this. Come on. Come on. V1. Rotate. Oh, exactly what I thought was gonna happen happened. But okay, we'll come on. God damn. Let's see. Okay, now we're getting them up. Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just see if I can get. Okay, we can keep assist for now. We're on the nav. Can we do profile as well? Change to climb.
Qantas 4003 heavy climb and maintain flight level 140 contact Wellington International approach on 122.3.
Okay, we really want to increase our
flight
speed.
level 140 approach on 122.3. Qantas 4003 heavy. Approach Qantas 4003
These click
heavy
spots
climbing
are
to flight
awful.
level 140.
Qantas 4003 heavy, good day. Radar contact 4 nautical miles northwest of Wellington International Airport.
It's overspeeding quite a bit now. There we go. That I like a bit more. I think it works also a bit better with this one compared to a little thingy. What's all this shaking? Is it because we're going over a bit of mountainous terrain? Possibly, right? Let me check if I can. Yeah, this works. Okay, how How is it?
Qantas 4003 heavy climb and maintain flight level 220, contact New Zealand Centre on 119.2.
Climb
Okay,
and
there we
maintain
go.
flight level 220 center on 119.2.
That was a bit
Qantas
odd.
4003
Did it somehow
heavy.
not take? Was nav the wrong? I think it was correct. Odd. Very
Center
strange.
Qantas 4003 heavy climbing to flight level 220.
Okay, these
Qantas 4003 heavy, good
lights
day.
off. Should I have armed speed brake? Yeah, I probably should have. Small mistake on my behalf. Okay, let's see now how it follows the path. We're climbing to 14,000 feet. We can go to standard. I never set this one correctly either. The standby altimeter. Let's have a look on the outside. Looks pretty good. The lights are definitely in X-Plane's favor. I need to get this for the thumbnail. That was a really cool when you get the kind of... I missed a really nice turn. Hey, look at the lights. I mean, it's red, but when you look from this angle, it's... oh, yeah. A bit much darker. Yeah, I really like the light system. It's very nice. Let's see how this nav works. I got a bit worried after that little ordeal we had. Let's put the seatbelt sign off. And actually talking about that, not that one, we can go back to this one. Do we have the cargo here? Yeah, exactly. This is the really cool thing, right? So you, cargo you put in, it stays in, so to speak. Let me close the door. Good, and we are following now the path. 220. So we can continue climbing. We're probably gonna get up to 260 eventually. We have about 30 minutes left of flying to do. It's gonna be a very quick flight today. We won't be flying very long. But yeah, very nice. Oh, yeah, probably not the best camera viewpoint. Yeah, look at these GE engines spinning. Qantas freight. I guess they don't really have A300s in Qantas, so this is a fictional livery. They did have the A300, the B2 version, right? But that was for passengers. They do have the A330-200 for
Qantas
freight
4003 heavy
operations.
expect the Messy 1 Echo arrival with the MESIX transition for the ILS approach to runway 02
That sounds
with
correct.
the Inibuilds transition at Christchurch International Airport.
Good, good, good.
Expect the Messy 1 Echo arrival with the MESIX transition for the ILS approach to runway 02 with the Inibuilds transition
range,
Qantas 4003 heavy.
Looks pretty good. We can't really see any clouds in the distance. But yeah, the cockpit looks much better in this new update. It just looks very nice. Actually, quickly gonna start Discord here. Gonna check some groups. Gonna move it to my other screen. also do my thumbnail. I really like to save that so I don't by mistake delete the file in question. I think this cabin looks just really good actually. When you look at it from this, I'm gonna send it to some friends. Let me just close my Discord quickly. Don't want it eating up any frames unnecessarily. Let's go back down. Or actually to this viewpoint. Do we see Rohan? God, I need to bring up that Lord of the Rings map. I really don't feel like this, or I guess no game can really make New Zealand justice. The pictures you see, those are amazing, right? In real life, it's a very beautiful country. I need to get, I need to do my own photo reel. Maybe I'll do that in Zoom level 15 to get a better, to get a bit of a better, or a nicer looking. Yeah, I would say a nicer looking photo reel. Okay, let's see. Landing lights, they should have gone off long time ago. Outer, inner. Oh yeah, so it was correct. It was just me not being logical. It was a while since I flew this one. Not for any particular reason, I guess, just hasn't happened. We forgot to do the chrono. That's always a bit of a bummer.
Code 468 Delta, track direct to Mitsa. Direct to Mitsa, code 468.
But yeah, is there any galley or similar that you need to like yourself turn on? Galley, okay, you can shed it, right? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the chair. We don't want that in our face. We have the top of cruise coming up, and then we have the descent very shortly, so it's a very short flight, this one. Gonna take a bit of time for us. Well, it's not that long, it's like 20 nautical miles, 150, no sorry, 150 nautical miles, about 20 minutes. Let me bring up the Lord of the Rings map. Let me see, New Zealand map. Here we go. So basically, what are we looking at? So the locations here are none. It's basically the ones that are in. Because where are we flying? We're on the wrong side of it, right? It's beneath this one. You'll have Pelorus. Wait, which one are these? I don't recognize those examples. New Zealand map of Middle Earth. How many maps are there? Pre-order now. I don't want to pre-order. I need to go and visit New Zealand. One day maybe. Flight simming will fulfill my traveling bug until I do travel. My India trip was of course very interesting when I went there a couple of weeks back. Basically was sick all the time. Never had so much stomach cramps. Yeah, typical I guess white experience in India. let's see. Oh yeah, and I was yesterday talking, or was it yesterday I flew? Yeah, I think so. I was talking about how the world is going insane. Now apparently the tariff war is paused. It's this world. Don't get it anymore. All the weird stuff happening. Sometimes I really just wanna scratch my head and be like, God damn, did I take the, what is it, the blue pill? Okay, we'll soon start descending. I haven't really prepared at all for the approach. But let's maybe do that. Yeah, I had it open, so 1-0. Let me just see, decision height, we might want to start with that. 323. So 325. It's the closest we come. 325. And what else? We also want to get the dial S correct. We have to change it in the game, so 1099 with a course of 16. Hope it's the same in the sim as well. So there we go, we have dial S set. What about this one? Can we see the radar? I guess there's nothing on the weather radar. Is there a terrain one? This one? Yeah, look at that, buddy. Yeah, we can keep terrain on the right one, just so we have a... Oh, sorry about that, just so we have some sort of hum of what's going on terrain-wise. I do want to start descending. Let me see if I could ask for a descent clearance. Qantas 4003 heavy, requesting flight level 100. I did that way too.
Qantas 4003 heavy descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, Qantas 4003 heavy.
Okay, let's put that in and let's see if the VNAV will kick in. Eventually, I presume it will. Is that some clouds in the distance? Far away? That almost got me thinking of the old, if you ever watched the series Sharp. They had that one song, Over the Hills and Far Away, right? I think that was like the kind of the main song of that series, right? Let's arm the speed brakes and let's see if we get the descent.
Qantas 4003 heavy descend and maintain 10,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet, Qantas 4003 heavy.
Let's see, I don't want to push it myself, I want to see if the VNAV works by itself. I don't know actually what the 80s is. I guess we could find that out. Frequencies. Nothing in range yet. Okay, let's see. We are coming up on our descent point. We should now be descending. Look at that. Are we descending? Nothing? Profile, maybe if I press it again, it's gonna force the descent. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Fuel wise, I'm gonna assume we're fine. It doesn't look like we're low. We still have a bit over 20,000 pounds of fuel. Anything else that's weird? Not what I can see. I mean, the ILS approach is straightforward. There's no offset. Let me have a look. What's the missed approach? Max 210 IAS, track 016, so we'll just continue to 2.5 DME, turn right to intercept R01 and then to Mibot. Okay. Seems fine. Think I have some understanding of how we'll fly this. AK will let the autopilot take us in and then we'll just take all the glory. What can I press? That was odd. Thought it was maybe the... I guess here we have the... Can we remove these? Maybe I shouldn't have put them down. God damn. No, wait, it works. God damn. Ooh, yes, just need to find the right place to do that. Okay, we're still descending, coming down to 19,000. I feel we're pretty good. I think it was the right call to go for the descent a bit earlier than I would have otherwise. Do we have any logo for Qantas Freight though? Qantas Freight logo that we can slap to make our thumbnail look better. Seems to be one. We can save this. Didn't I do a Qantas flight at some point? Maybe it was Qantas Link, right? Probably when I was trying out the Australian, the Orbex, right? But that must have been a while back. When did I do a flight with that? That must be in Qantas Link. Here we go. Back in 4 months ago. God damn, time flies. And I was also still back then flying with the volumetric cloud, so that was way back. Yeah, I guess I always ping pong back and forth between the volumetric and non-volumetric.
Qantas 4003 Heavy descend via the Messy 1E arrival with the Mesix transition to 2,000 feet QNH is 1028 at Christchurch International Airport.
1028, so same as
Descend
we
via
had.
the Messy 1E arrival with the Mesix transition
What's
to
the
2,000
transition
feet
altitude?
QNH is 1028 Qantas 4003 Heavy.
Or how do they do it here in New Zealand? Let me see. New Zealand transition altitude 13,000 feet. Okay, let's take that then and put it in. 128. We'll do the same with the standby one to make sure if one of them crashes and burn, at least have one correctly set up. Guess we could do this one as well. One, two, 8. We can set this one as well. What was it? 2, 3, 2, 5, right? 3, 2, 5, yeah, about. That's fine. Oh, one thing we went to auto, but we should have had it on cruise, right? Yeah. Small mistake. But they happen. They do happen. Let me just see, what's this one here? That's Mibot, that's for the missed approach. And we want to get in on a course of 031 when we go into a holding pattern at Mibot. How is it looking here now? Yeah, we're starting to look familiar. I remember doing the approach here with the IXEG 1 week back or so. Didn't go so well. Let's put the landing lights on since we're coming down to 10,000 feet. We are kind of aligned with the profile, so that's good to see. Slowing down quite a bit. About 10 minutes left to go on our flight. Yeah, put the seatbelt signs on. And just let the aircraft take us closer and closer. What's the fleet Qantas freight has had? It's 767s, right, in the past? Oh, but they wet lease 14 aircraft, ATRs. They wet lease 747, BAE. So cool that they have those flying still in. I mean, Europe really kind of ditches all of these old airplanes quickly. They had the 737-300. Oh, but only for 11 years. Interesting. Oh, but it isn't that. It's 21. That was when it was started. But what's the oldest aircraft it has? Fleet development? We didn't have a fleet in the beginning. Express freighters. Australia. It's a wholly owned by Qantas Freight. Okay, interesting. So there's a bit of a setup, bit of a structure there. They've been a partnership with Australian Post, Australian Air Express. Which one is that? Oh, it ceased operations. They flew some of these metro liners, right? And the BAE and the 737s. Interesting.
Yankee Juliet Echo Pinner identified cleared to CAN via Munga Nonham 3 Alpha arrival 9000.
They serve a lot of destinations. They have such a small fleet, only 8. But yeah, okay. Maybe that makes sense. Let's have a look. New plane orders. Latest aircraft deliveries. Maybe that's a cool one. Conair aerial firefighting got a -8. I guess
Qantas
this is
4003 heavy contact bay approach on 123.6.
I guess this is also, you know,
Approach on 123.6
refurbished
Qantas
aircraft
4003 heavy.
or redone aircrafts. Okay,
Approach
still
Qantas
about
4003
8 minutes
heavy
to
descending
go.
via the Messi 1E arrival with the Mesix transition to 2000 feet.
Qantas 4003
descending.
heavy good day. Continue descent via the Messi 1 Echo arrival with the Mesix transition.
Continue descent via
Guess
the
we'll
Messi 1
come
Echo
in
arrival
here.
with the Mesix transition Qantas 4003 heavy.
And we'll have the airport to our right, but can we see it yet, or is it a bit... Where's that goddamn airport hiding? Maybe we're still a bit outside. There we go. That's where it is. Hello, Christchurch. Okay, so we'll basically just come in here and then around and then down. That makes sense. Doesn't look like there's a single speck of a cloud in the sky, which is good. Will make our lives easier. Let's put that on the IL. Or actually, we want to keep it on nav. We can wait with the ILS. Interesting though. I thought that was only for controlling the... I guess if it controls the flight director, it will control the autopilot. That'll make it a bit easier to see those numbers. Even though the cockpit feels much brighter than it used to feel.
Miles northeast of the airport. QNH is 1028
1028, cleared direct to
runway 02 with the Ijubu transition Christchurch International Airport.
Or Idubu, I guess.
QNH is 1028 cleared direct Ijubu, then cleared for the ILS approach to runway 02 with the Ijubu transition at Christchurch International Airport, Qantas 4003 heavy.
Look at this beauty flying. Yeah, really one of my favorite aircrafts. Also another one, the older version of this one. That's also something that really like. If that one is really good, that would be a fun plane to fly in Microsoft Flight Sim. But I haven't heard any news. Actually talking about that, let's have a look at the Just Flight page, because they do have an in development page. But there hasn't been any updates since March. A bit on the Fokker, which of course, as with everything in Microsoft Flight Sim, looks pretty damn good. Very familiar as well, this one. And this one from the Fokker Digital Aviation that we flew on our channel. Of course much nicer with the virtual cockpit, right? Must be fun to beta test these ones. If I become a if I can become a beta tester, then yeah, definitely I'll get Microsoft Flight Sim. That would be a good reason as any. I'm gonna add slats, I think. So I guess we have a different level of slats though, do we? Let's see, and now we're adding, you can see it coming down. This one, the gap here is becoming larger. Okay, let's see. So add slats, hopefully that can help a bit. I do want to know how this turn is meant to be executed. But let's see. We can do the landing lights. Sorry, those are the turn off lights. I was trying to click on the wing light for some reason. Auto rate pressure. Oh, I guess you can change between system 1 and 2. Was there anything we'd forgotten? I don't think so. So we should be fine. Stop rudder inputs. I wonder what this one is used. Let me see. Stop rudder. Oh, it was after a crash. Yeah, makes sense. Applied crazy amounts of rudder and it ripped the aircraft apart. How the hell can you apply crazy amounts of rudder and rip an aircraft apart? That's crazy. I think, hasn't that been featured on the Mentor Pilot channel? Or maybe it will be at some point. Okay, let's see. Still looking good, but we're gonna have to make this turn. And that's, yeah. Let's see how that will work. We're supposed to be at 2,000 feet at Inibuilds. Then we should be descending. Let me see, at Al-Bad we should be... we can still be at 2,000 feet at Al-Bad. So we should be fine, but let's see. Yeah, it would be nice with a bit more objects. It would really make the footer wheel pop a bit better. But no, I do want my widescreen resolution. It's just so much nicer to fly. You get a bit of depth. It makes it much easier to land, etc. You can judge your speed a bit, because you don't have that many, let's say, other cues to go by. Okay, let's put that into land. Let's see if we can go to a bit more slats and some flaps. Could we also potentially kill off the autopilot? Drop the gears already. And let's add a bit of thrust, just so we don't completely fall behind this aircraft. Okay, let's see. We're a bit slow, but we can add a bit of thrust and that should solve the issue. We're at least not in the red tape territory just about yet. Gonna put us in a bit of a higher viewpoint. Okay, let's see, we should be turning in now to the localizer. Hopefully we can do that in a nice way so we don't start ping-ponging. The autopilot is still in full work. We need to add more thrust as we're turning. And look at that, very nicely captured actually. I'm gonna add a bit more flaps. And I'm also gonna disconnect the autopilot. Let's add even more flaps. I guess we can go to flaps full. Let me just... We really need to throttle down actually, I just realized. It's way too high now. Let's see if we can catch up. We'll have to descend a bit faster. That was me, I should have throttled down much earlier. Not sure why I didn't, to be honest. Rookie mistake, I guess. Okay, we're getting the diamond back up. There's not that much of a wind. We have a bit of a headwind. 7 knots now. That seems pretty fine. We can manage, I think. Actually, one thing I didn't do was the auto brakes. That should have been max on takeoff. That was very embarrassing actually, now I realized. Totally forgot about that, basically completely. Okay, let's see. Now I haven't even checked the landing. God damn. Well, I guess there isn't that much to do on this one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're way too low on approach. I'm gonna add a lot of thrust. This hasn't been a good approach, guys. I'm gonna be honest about that. I mean, but look at this though, just from an interesting perspective, right? We have like almost, well, not full thrust, right? But we really brought it up, and it's really hard to kind of still to get the aircraft. That's why you need to remove some of the flaps, right? And really need to go to toga when you have a kind of rejected landing. Yeah, I know. $300, 200. 100. I guess minimums also went.
Long landing, 8,000 feet remaining.
Okay, we kinda just about were able to do that. Let's put full thrust reversers. That should hopefully have enough of an effect to get us stopped. I'll go manual braking. Yeah, the manual braking. God damn, the sound on that on those thrust reversers. That was crazy loud. But kind of nice immersion wise. Let's have a look actually, just because I want to see for my own sake what was the... Not the takeoff one, missed that. I'm gonna guess it would have been a bit higher than 140, but I will. Did we get a tower handover or did I just... Yeah, we never got a... So weird, there's always some new error. Just gonna close pilot to ADC. Sorry about that, guys. Small mistakes. We can get those flaps and the slats removed and the speed brakes. And of course we won't get any landing rate, but I can kind of guess that it should have been fine. We can check a bit on this one. It won't say exactly, but it will give a good indication of what it was. Or would have been if we got it calculated. Let's get the APU started so we can shut down the engines. And in terms of parking, I do wonder where they park in relation to cargo. Let me have a look on the... I guess this one could have been one, right? This does look a bit like cargo parking, right? A tiny bit at least. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's see if we can do this. So we'll go the outer one. Okay, let's see, we need to turn a bit more. And then basically turn back in order to get on that one. Okay, not as good as we could have done it, but I guess it will have to do for today's flight, so we can wrap up and close shop. But yeah, some mistakes today actually, guys. My two latest flights haven't been the best. I'll blame myself for that. Okay, APU bleeds. Shutting both engines. But yeah, you know, you have better virtual flying days and you have worse virtual flying days. These were one of the... This and yesterday weren't some of the best. Oh, look at this viewpoint though with the mountains. That's always nice. I really liked that when I was flying from Delhi to Calcutta. You could see the Himalayas, right? That was really cool actually. You know, you really felt like, goddamn, this is the closest I've gotten to it. Okay, let's jump back a bit. So the approach was pretty bad. How was the landing? The $1 million question. Let's just have a look first in the cockpit, just because I want to see when we touch what was our landing rate. So that's around with 300, 100. Okay, it was very low, around 100. But it was it a bit late? Let's have a look. We do float here. At this point we do float. Can't really hear the call outs. But we do touch down within the zone, so that's good at least. But barely, right? That must have been barely. Just, let me see, just before the last one is coming up. Yeah, okay. But hell, we did it. Is the auto brake even functioning? It really felt like we got no braking. With full thrust reversers we should have been stopping very quickly. Specifically when I then went manually and basically burned the brakes to death. Oh well. Let's see how it looks from a nicer perspective. Let's go up. So from some sort of ad hoc wing perspective, how does it look? Need to make sure we don't... Ah, there we landed. Yeah, look at the wing flex. It's really good on the Inibuilds one. Not the most pretty speed brakes, but I guess they do the job. So yeah, that was it for today's flight. Just a short one, just for fun. Not too much serious immersion stuff, but always fun to fly the A300 by Inibuilds. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. And otherwise, until next time. And yeah, if you have any routes or things to suggest, feel free to do so. Bye bye.